Adou Thiero made his NBA debut for the Los Angeles Lakers yesterday, and today we're going to watch this guy's tape, and we're going to go through pretty much every single one of this guy's plays because there's just so many smart things this guy does on tape. The flashes are definitely there, the athleticism with Thiero, his ability to play defense. I mean, it's very clear what the Los Angeles Lakers are missing right now. Thiero has it. Now, we'll see how he continues to kind of develop over the course of his career and even the course of this season. But let's just go ahead and start right away with this first play. He's out there on the court. First play, he ends up matched up against Cole Anthony, and he does a really good job just kind of staying right on top of him. You can definitely see that hip fluidity, the movement by Thiero, the footwork. And you're going to end up getting a switch. Anthony's going to drive. He's going to end up passing it out to Gary Harris, who has Luka Doncic on him. Harris is going to try to drive, and you're going to see Thiero do a really good job to stop that drive. Harris is then going to pass the ball out to Bobby Portis, who Thiero ends up kind of just staying on top of. Portis is going to end up passing the ball to Gary Trent Jr., who's going to try to drive, and once again, Thiero's right there to stop the drive. To me, that's a really good job by Thiero in terms of the help defense. And the Bucks are going to end up scoring anyways, but again, I like some of the flashes, some of the movement, the help defense. Now, on the very next play, the Lakers are going to have the possession. Luka Doncic is going to take the three, and of course, Adou Thiero is going to get the offensive rebound. I love how he chases this down. Now, of course, a lot of people have already kind of seen this play. It's kind of pointed out that Thiero got the offensive rebound. But truth be told, I absolutely love this effort. I love how Thiero's able to find the basketball, has that hand-eye coordination to track it down, has the athleticism as well. And then right after that three-point shot, literally on the very next drive, Thiero's going to once again do a pretty nice job. Now, this one's not a huge deal. Bucks are going to end up scoring a three-point shot, but he's going to actually end up getting switched on to Giannis. And I love how he bodies up Giannis and he makes sure to take the entry pass away. He ends up getting in front of this guy. You don't really have a clean pass, and you do get the three-point shot on this one. But again, I like the fact that he knows to get in front of Giannis. A guy that's obviously stronger than him, a guy that's obviously taller and longer, understands how to kind of defend him. Now, on this next play here, this is such a phenomenal job by Thiero, but the play doesn't actually end up counting. But I still want to show it to you guys because I think it's just a really, really smart play. Now, this play is actually going to start with a double screen by Kleber as well as Jackson Hayes for Luka Doncic. And as all of that's happening, you obviously see Adou Thiero runs across the baseline. Now, of course, as you guys see, Jackson Hayes is going to end up rolling to the basket, and Cole Anthony is going to end up helping. Now, keep in mind, you get all this switch action that's kind of happening. With that, no one's really paying attention to Thiero, and he does a really good job cutting to the basket in that exact moment. But again, you get the foul call, so that's not going to technically count. But another thing to point out is the Lakers have kind of struggled with guys cutting to the basket this season. And Adou Thiero, literally the second possession, the Lakers had the ball where he's on the court on the offensive side. This guy's cutting to the basket. So I think these are the little things, the athleticism that this guy's going to help the Los Angeles Lakers with. Now, on this next play here, this is actually going to be the final play. Adou Thiero is going to be out there for at least the first time he comes into the game. He is going to come back into the game a little bit later on, and we'll watch some of those plays as well. Thiero's going to do a pretty nice job helping on Giannis, who ends up trying to drive. Giannis does pass it out to Gary Trent Jr. Trent Jr. is going to end up missing the shot, and Thiero's going to actually end up rebounding the shot. Now, technically, he doesn't get credit for the rebound, but again, help defense, grabs the rebound. Pretty nice effort right there, in my opinion. Now, of course, with that being stated, Thiero comes out, but he does come back in the game a little bit later on. The game's over at this point. I love how Thiero takes control here. He's going to tell Dalton Connect that I have Andre Jackson. You get out there on number 43. With that, he's going to end up guarding Jackson, who's going to pass it off to Mark Sears. And I like the fact that Thiero does a pretty good job sticking to Sears on this one. He does a pretty nice job staying on top of it. He's going to swipe at the ball, which to me is just a high IQ play to kind of make. Try to knock the ball out. Try to force a turnover. Now, he does technically give up the 2 points on this one. But again, I like how he just kind of stays on top and he's trying to force the turnover. On the next defensive possession, once again, he's going to end up getting locked on to Sears. Now, keep in mind, Sears is a 6 foot, 180-pound guard. The guy's super, super quick, super explosive. And Thiero just stays right on top of it. And Sears ends up kind of losing control of the ball. Once again, to me, just a really nice job by Thiero to be able to stay on top of this. And of course, you're going to get the switch. Not Thiero's man at that point. But I do like the fact that this guy does a pretty good job staying in front of a guy that's a lot quicker, a lot faster than him. This guy can go from covering a 7 foot Giannis to a 6 foot Sears. And then on the next offensive possession, you're actually going to get a play call here by Nick Smith Jr. He's going to pass it out to Bronny James. Notice how Bronny James is going to end up looping around. And you're going to see Thiero do a pretty nice job screening off Bronny James's man. To me, Nick Smith should have passed this to Bronny James. The Lakers obviously designed this play to get a potential three-point shot for Bronny. Of course, Thiero is the guy that came in there to screen. Now, obviously, you're going to see Smith Jr. misses a shot. Bronny James does a phenomenal job being able to chase down the offensive rebound. Thiero gets fouled, goes to the free throw line, and hits both of his free throws. And this was technically the first 2 points that Thiero scored. On the very next Milwaukee Bucks possession, Bronny James is going to end up stealing it, and this was the highlight play, in my opinion, by Thiero. You just see that athleticism, you see that explosiveness, and you see the Lakers bench fired up, right? To me, just a really, really, really nice explosive play by Thiero. And that's the athleticism that I think we're going to get from a guy like Thiero. The ability to be able to run down the court. I mean, think about this play. Look where it kind of starts, and then you see how fast he explodes down the court. That speed, that quickness for a guy that's 6'8.5". That's impressive stuff right there. And of course, on this final play here, he's going to contest the shot against Sears, who ends up scoring. But again, you can see the movement on tape by this guy. To me, I'm very excited to see what this guy kind of develops into as we kind of continue to go forward. I think the athleticism that Thiero flashes is something that the Lakers definitely need. I think it's very clear on tape, if you guys have watched the games this season, that the Lakers do lack a little bit on the offensive and defensive side in terms of athleticism. Hopefully, Thiero is able to kind of bridge that gap, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys next time with another video.